Welcome back in to Clay and Buck. We've got the Trump campaign national spokeswoman, Karoline Leavitt, with us now. Caroline, we have very important news to talk about. The salvation of the republic is something we are very focused on. But first, if you were going out on a date with a guy, I know you're engaged, by the way, congratulations, but in your previous single life, and he told you that he played a woodwind instrument, specifically the flute, or maybe the clarinet, or maybe the oboe, would that be a problem, or would that be an upside?
I was very curious about what the heck was going on with that intro music, so now this question is making it make sense. If I was on a date with a man and he told me he was a woodwind flute player, that might be a hard red line in the sand for me, you guys. I'm not going to lie.
Thank you, Caroline.
Wow.
Yesterday, I said that no woman has ever been impressed by a man playing the flute. What are you, 26, 27 years old? You're
That's
a young,
right, correct.
young, attractive woman, and you just said red line in the sand, can't go across it. Guy brags about playing the flute, you're out. Thank you for proving my point. You didn't even know what you were walking into when you heard that intro music. You're probably like, what in the
I'm just
world
going to
is
big
this?
flute is going to be all over her mentions all weekend now. There's a lot of flute and a lot of woodwind lovers out there.
I'm just going to tell you, Buck, if Trump suddenly stopped one of his rallies and started playing a flute, I would just say, I don't know that I can support this guy as aggressively as I had before. I think he would lose. I think he would lose points in polling if he just stopped and said, and now I have a musical medley that I'd like to play for you on my flute. I think a lot of people out there listening to us right now would say that would be a red line for them too.
Okay, well,
Now,
Caroline is the national press secretary for. Go ahead, Caroline.
I just want to add one caveat to my response. If he engages in other more, let's say, masculine activities that he is more focused on, and then on the side he's a decent flute player, all right, that's fine. But if he's leading the date commending his flute playing skills, that's where the red line begins. Just wanted to add that.
So if he's an MMA fighter who also plays the flute on the side, you would allow the flute playing, but there has to be some major masculine activity to cancel it out.
She's saying maybe he's an international man of mystery who does some tactical shooting on the weekends and knows a thing about some things, but also plays a possible woodwind instrument. He's still a handsome guy. All right, Caroline. Just bring us into right now. I mean, all the things Trump that we're talking about is on the legal side. Can you tell us a bit about where the campaign is? What's going on? What's planned? How's he going to win? I mean, it feels like it's just courtroom drama all the time in the news these days.
It definitely does. And I was thinking that yesterday, you guys. We had this wall-to-wall coverage of the Fani Willis case where, I mean, what a mockery of our justice system this really has become. And President Trump has been 100% right about this case. By the way, from the beginning, he said it's a sham and it should be dismissed, not just for this crazy alleged misconduct that we're learning about, which appears to be very true, but also on the basis of the law. And so, the campaign is fighting hard against all of the legal challenges, but we are also fully focused on campaigning. President Trump has been out on the road multiple times a week, visiting all of the states, of course, in this Republican presidential primary, which we're focused on wrapping up as soon as bird brain Nikki Haley decides to wake up and smell the roses and realizes she has absolutely no chance at winning. The president will be in South Carolina a few times before the primary next week. He'll be in Michigan and Pennsylvania tomorrow, two battleground swing states, of course, that we need to win heading into November. He was in Nevada, even knowing that he was going to take away all of the delegates from that state in the primary, because we're focused on winning Nevada. We are focused on winning every single state that we possibly can and bringing President Trump's winning message to all corners and communities of this country. So we have some really fun and different events planned for the stretch of this campaign, and we're excited to get going. And there's not enough time in the courtroom that could pull this man off of the campaign trail. He's determined to do as much as he possibly can to win.
Caroline, you're super talented. You ran for Congress in New Hampshire, narrowly lost. I mentioned earlier you clearly have great taste because you recognize that anyone who plays the flute would not be a desirable man to date. But have you guys had conversations? You obviously are good interacting with the community and the media and everything else. The case that's now set in New York City for March 25th, let's presume that it goes to trial. Do you have discussions now from a communication process? Would there be daily press conferences on the steps outside of that courtroom? Are you there helping with that process? Have you guys had conversations about what your communication strategy might look like? You mentioned, and I think it's important, Michigan, Pennsylvania, Nevada, South Carolina, having the president on the road, going to all these different events, but they're clearly trying to keep him pinned down in a courtroom. How do you play that from a communications and election strategy basis?
Well, look, it's obviously unprecedented, right? Never in American history has the sitting president of the United States used his party and used the judicial system to go after his political opponent. So we're in new territory here. But again, that's why we're going to come up with creative ways to ensure that the president can still campaign, even though he's unfortunately bound to the courtroom to face these, legal, political, baseless witch hunts. But yes, you will continue to hear from the president just as you do directly on Truth Social. I'm sure he'll still be doing interviews. There will be press conferences, and there will be campaign stops too. Again, this man is determined to get out there across the country, and we'll make sure that he can do that. Hey, court wraps up at 5 o'clock, and if you know President Trump, he's up much longer than that, unlike Sleepy Joe. So there's still plenty of time in the day to get out there and campaign.
How's morale? We're speaking to Karoline Leavitt, for anyone who's joining us here in progress. Karoline, how is morale right now for people on the Trump campaign, given the most recent revelations and what's gone on with the Fani Willis case specifically? Do they feel like there's a lot of Trump momentum on the legal side of things, and that will translate into politics? I just wanted you to bring us into that a little.
Well, certainly, yes. The morale is very high, and we feel as though the president has never been in a stronger position to win. Now, we don't take that for granted. You've probably seen that and witnessed that with this Republican primary. He's been the presumptive nominee now for months, but we still made sure that we were winning every single state by significant historic margins, 30-plus points in Iowa. He won more votes than any presidential contender from either party in New Hampshire primary history, walked away from Nevada with all of the delegates. We're hard charging through South Carolina, even though we're 100% confident he'll win. And we're going to have that same approach leading into the general election. And I will say that I'm honored to be part of this team. This is, in my humble opinion, the best, most talented, well-equipped campaign team that President Trump has ever had, and we're going to continue to fight alongside with him every single day. And we do see that the truth is coming out on many of these legal cases. The corruption from Fani Willis is one. Jack Smith facing real problems and challenges in the court right now on the basis of the law and the Constitution. You also see that we're winning in the court of public opinion. The American people see these cases for what they are. They are unfair witch hunts against a man who made their lives better. And that's why you saw, Fulton County, when President Trump's motorcade was rolling through urban Atlanta on his way to get his mugshot at the behest of Fani Willis, there were people in those minority impoverished communities coming out of their homes chanting and fist pumping and yelling, "Free Trump." Because people get it. They understand what is happening here, and they want to reelect the guy who made their pocketbooks a little bit bigger and better, who made this country secure, who secured our border, and who demanded law and order in American cities. And so that's a winning message, and we're very hopeful that the truth in all of these legal cases will prevail.
Karoline, you're from the New Hampshire area, from the Northeast. What did you think of the DunKings commercial that came out? I can't stop watching it. I went to Dunkin' Donuts today. They don't even pay me anything, and they were playing the commercial. I think this Matt Damon, for those who have not seen it, I think it's one of the funniest commercials that's been out there. But I bet you're a diehard Dunkin' Donuts person. How would you analyze the commercial?
Clay, you read me so well. Yes, I am diehard Dunkin' over Starbucks any day of the week. It's the blue-collar coffee company, and, of course, it's a New England favorite. But I love that commercial. You have the GOAT Tom Brady. You have Boston's boys, Ben Affleck and Matt Damon. It was just genius on behalf of Dunkin' Donuts and DunKings. I mean, it's legendary.
Have you gotten your suit yet? I think Buck and I need to get our own music. For people who have not seen this video, I think it's the funniest video by far coming out of the Super Bowl.
I'm going to have to do a bet with Clay where if he loses, which is likely, he's going to have to wear a DunKings suit for one of our shows on the live stream. I think we're going to have to get this going. Karoline, where can people go to follow you, your work, and what's going on with the campaign?
Yeah, anytime, guys. Thanks for having me. You can go to my personal Twitter. It's just K Leavitt on Twitter, or X, I should call it, Truth Social as well. And then please follow our team at Team Trump in the Trump War Room. We're always pushing out good content, attacking Sleepy Joe. So please follow us, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Thanks so much.
Thanks so much.